Hello, I'm Julie Doddle. I'm from Goodland, Kansas. This is my intro video for this class, AEP 858. I live in Goodland, which is in the northwest corner of Kansas. I've been here pretty much my whole life. I grew up in St. Francis, which is north of here, with a really big family. And currently I have three children. The oldest is 22. I'm having an eighth grader next year and a fourth grader next year. And my husband grew up here as well, and he works for the railroad. This will be my 18th year in education, so I'm pretty excited to get that started. I did 1 year in third grade at a parochial school, and then I did 5 years in preschool at Head Start in a couple of different centers. Then I did 5 years in kindergarten, where we were just starting to get into the trend of having a reading series in kindergarten. And then I got moved to second grade. I've been there for 7 years. After my first year, we started a co-teaching initiative where the special ed teacher and the regular ed teacher plan together in the classroom. I went through training, and I'm the co-teaching coach in our district. I've been working on my master's. This is actually my last class, which kind of leads into what I'll be doing next year, which will be Title I / co-teaching coach / reading specialist / whatever else they can figure out. Goodland is a pretty small town. We're a small 4A school. We have a high population of ESL kids. And so it's kind of a small area. And so when you do have, this is the first time we've had a instructional coach in probably 6 years. Money usually does not allow for us to have such luxuries out here. You wear many hats. A reflection on what we do in our district as reading and data. We have 3 buildings. We have a K2 building, which is where I've worked in most of my career. Then we also have a 3-6 building. And things are a little different in both buildings. The process that we originally used, and we still use in my building, is that 3 times a year we do the Ames Web Screener for reading and for math. After the reading, we quad sort and figure out which kids need a little extra help for interventions through the MTSS model. We use the QPS for that, or the PASS, depending on what level they're at. This kind of breaks down the phonics issues they might be having or whatever with their reading. Once we figured out those, we put kids into similar groups such as short vowel. And as they work through some lessons on that, then we assess them with local assessments regularly and move them through those intervention groups. We also do that QPS after every Ames Web testing, which is a 3 times a year screener. So we can make sure that kids may have passed a section and may still not be able to do it. For math, we do the Ames Web Screener as well. We just got a new math series, I want to say 2 years ago, and it has a lot of also screeners in it and assessments and data that we can access from the website. We also use iStation. We haven't used much of the data from that. Another thing we do for math is like extra math to figure out where they're at with their math facts. How do we use the data? Well, at our school, we use it to put kids into groups for intervention. In math, we haven't done that, but I think in our math, we do more centers and more individualized math instruction. So those kids who aren't getting a concept can get extra help during that time. How do we analyze the data? We look at, all teachers have access to the website for Ames Web to look at their data to see which kids are falling below level, which kids need a little extra help. And so we encourage teachers to do that. And that'll sort of be something that I'll kind of be helping teachers do next year. What do we do to make changes for instruction? I can really only speak for myself and for my grade level team, but we do interventions. And also, as far as math, I think there's some extra things that we do in the classroom to help kids out. We also have in those interventions, and then also in the classroom, I know there's a lot of informal assessments like which sight words they know, keeping track of that data. And we're kind of moving towards having some data notebooks that kids keep with our Leader in Me initiatives. So those are some things that we're starting. In our 3-6 building, I know that there is a lot less with the MTSS model going on and interventions in general. So that's sort of where I will be at next year. A personal critique of the use of the data that we do. What do I do with it? I look at kids, and I think it's very important that you assess your own kids so that you know what's going on. And then I progress monitor every week, depending on the kid, or every 2 weeks, to see if they're making gains as they should be, a word or two a week in words per minute or whatever it is that we're doing. I have figure out which level they are in reading, and they're in a reading group that's on their level. I also have retaught. One thing we did with spelling this year is I was noticing that some kids were not getting the concept after 1 week. So some of the words that they were missing, we would mix in with the words for the next week so that they would know what to do. How will we make instructional decisions with it? I think that every class and every child is different, so looking at where they're at is important, and so that's what we're going to do. Next year, I think things are going to change a little bit in math and reading. We're going to look at those in our PLC groups a little more and work harder at doing that, and looking at what each individual kid needs and trying to help them make gains, and looking at what gains they are making, and celebrate those successes. Okay, that is all. Thanks.